Thank you for that very generous introduction, Mr. Conkle. How much do we agree on for that? Anyway, it's delightful to be here tonight. I'm honored. What I would like to do first, because I am a Canadian, many people think I'm American because I lived in the States, but my mother is American, my father's Canadian. And on my father's side, fifth generation Canadian, and I've lived in Canada, United States, and England, and I can tell you, this is the country I chose for my home. And before we go any further, I would like you to rise and join me as I sing the national anthem, please. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. There you go. Thank you. I'll tell you, every time I sing that song, I get goosebumps. Anyway, I'm delighted to be here tonight as part of this wonderful organization, Canadian Human Rights Voice. And isn't it great to live in a country such as Canada? Isn't it? That's right. I say this wherever I go. And, Americans love to think they got the greatest country in the world, and it is a great country. But I think the most wonderful and compassionate people live here. And one of the things that, let me give you a current example of this. Canada refusing to participate in the Commonwealth meeting in Sri Lanka. I think that was great to stand up like that. It sends a strong message. We're not going to sit by while these injustices go on. And growing up in Detroit back in the 60s, I can tell you there's so much I could share, but I don't have the time. But growing up in discrimination, growing up in racism, growing up in violence and ignorance, and growing up in a city that had a police force so corrupt, we thank God for the police force we got in Toronto, in surrounding areas. Really, you have not seen anything unless you grew up in Detroit in the 50s and 60s, and that's why they had the big riots of 1967. I was there. I lived up at Grand River and Hudson and saw 4 square blocks of that city burned to the ground by people that had become so frustrated because their voice was not heard. Even the people they voted in wouldn't stand up for them. And that is why we need wonderful, compassionate groups like Canadian Human Rights Voice. And I'm delighted to tell you that I'm soon going to become a member. I've already made that very, very clear to them. They may regret it after, though, I can tell you, because I'm a very passionate person. And I got to tell you, wherever evil is, it does not want to be exposed to the light. And when you begin to expose evil to the light, the powers that be will try to vilify you. It's happened to me. I've been blackballed more times in this city because I speak up against injustices, and I always will. So let's get to the next step of this. I want to introduce Bob Stanley, who is a member of the Canadian Human Rights Voice, to come up and assist me here. Bob, will you come to the podium? There he is. Bob, I'll give you a Detroit handshake.
Great. I understand.